this session, we are going to discuss word problems related to age. In previous session, we discussed word problems related to fractions. So steps are going to remain same. First thing, we want to find that what we don't know. What do we want to know at the end of the question? That's the most important thing. We need to identify what do we want to find. Which are those two unknowns that we are going to find in this question. Most important steps. Afterwards, form two equations. You need to convert these sentences into mathematical forms, and we will get two equations and we are going to solve it. Okay, so let's start. So 5 years ago, Nuri was thrice as old as Sonu. Still we are not getting any kind of information when we read this. Next, 10 years later, Nuri will be twice as old as Sonu. Okay, so there is twice, there is thrice, ages are given. What are their present age? Right, so we want to find their present age. See, this is telling us that this is what we are going to find in this question. What are their present age? Right, so we want to find the present age of whom? Nuri and Sonu. So let me take the age of Nuri as present age of Nuri is equal to X years, and for the Sonu, present age of Sonu is equal to Y years. Okay, so present scenario we know, but when you read the question, it is given 5 years ago. 5 years ago, we need to go back in time. Suppose your age is now 15 years old. So if you talk about your age 5 years ago, so you are going back in time. So 15 minus 5, we are going to subtract our age. I was of 10 years old at that time. So we are having one time which is 5 years ago, another is present, and see the next sentence, 10 years later. If your age is now as 15 years, 10 years after, okay, so that will be 15 plus 10, that is 25. So I'm going to add it. So I'm going to find two ages, 5 years ago and 10 years after. So let's do it. Let's indicate. So this is present age. This is where we are now. Present 5 years ago. This is 10 years later. Right? And we want to find the age of Nuri and Sonu. So let me write Nuri and Sonu. So right now their present age is what? X, and here it is Y. Now we want to find the ages 5 years ago. So remember what we did. If your age is now 15 and if you want to get the age 5 years ago, you are going to subtract by 5, right? So the present age is X. So if you want to go 5 years ago, that will be X minus 5. And what about Sonu? That will be Y minus 5. Done? So 5 years ago case is done. Now let's talk about 10 years later. So your age is 15, 10 years later, which is plus 10, that will be 25. So I can write 15 plus 10. So if the age is X, that will be X plus 10. And if the age is Y, that will be Y plus 10. So now we have ages that we need to form the equation. Present age, age 5 years ago and age 10 years later, right? Remember, do this calculation as much as clearly possible. This is very important to do these calculations. You have clear picture in your mind. There are 3 ages we are going to deal with: 5 years ago, present age, and 10 years later. Now let's go for equation. So First case, 5 years ago, right? So let me write 5 years ago. 5 years ago. What is the age? Noori was thrice as old as Sonu. Let me write the same sentence. Noori was thrice as old as Sonu, right? So 5 years ago, I am taking the age of Noori. What is the age of Noori 5 years ago? Remember 5 years ago, which is x minus 5. So x minus 5 was, I am going to consider as a equal to sign, right? Is, am, are, was, were, will be considered as equal to sign. Thrice means multiply by 3. What will you multiply by 3? That is age of Sonu. Remember again, we are talking the case of 5 years ago. So Sonu's age was 5 minus 5. My first equation, I need to simplify still. Obviously, it's not in a normal form. So x minus 5 as it is, 3 I will be multiplying to each term one by one. That is 3y minus 15, right? Let me shift this 3y over here and 5 over here. So x minus 3y, this minus 15, and this minus 5 will become plus 5. So x minus 3y is equal to minus 10. This is my first equation so far. We need to make another equation by following another condition, which is 10 years later. 10 years later, right? So we will be considering these two ages. Noori will be twice as old as Sonu. So let me label here as well. 10 years later. What's this sentence? Noori will be twice. Noori will be twice as old as Sonu. As old as Sonu. Right, now let's put the numbers according to this sentence. Remember, the purpose of writing this sentence is not just to write it again unnecessarily. We want to write it to, I am going to write the values below it, right? 10 years later, 10 years later, what? First name is Noori. So what is the age of Noori? X plus 10. So I will be writing exactly below. X plus 10. I told you will be, is, am, are, was, were, means you are going to put equal to sign, right? Twice means what? Multiply by 2. As old as what? Sonu. Remember, Sonu's 3 ages are there. We are talking about the case of 10 years later. So Sonu's age 10 years later, which is y plus 10. So y plus 10. Remember how to convert this sentence into mathematical form, right? It is very easy if you write every value below it. Very simple to do it. Don't get confused. Now let's simplify it. So x plus 10 as it is, 2 will be multiplied each term one by one, which is 2y plus 20. Now let's shift all the variables on LHS side and numbers on right hand side. So x minus 2y, this 20 as it is, plus 10 will become minus 10. So x minus 2y is equal to 10. This is my second equation. First equation is x minus 3y is equal to minus 10. Second is x minus 2y is equal to 10. Now we have 4 methods to solve: graphical method, substitution method, elimination, or cross multiplication method. You can choose any of it. You are going to get correct answer regardless of the method you choose. So let's start with, I think again I told you, when you get same coefficients, go for elimination. See, coefficient of x, nothing means 1, here 3, here coefficient of x which is 1, right, and y has minus 2. So I am going to guess what? Which method? Elimination method. And I will eliminate which variable? I told you, whenever variables are having same coefficient, we need to eliminate that variable. So let's do it. X minus 3y is equal to minus 10, first equation, and I'm writing the second, which is x minus 2y is equal to 10. Now see, they are having same sign. Remember the rules we learned in elimination method. Same sign means what? We are going to subtract. So that will be minus x, minus will become plus, and plus will become minus. So x will get cancelled, minus 3y, and is it plus 2y or minus 2y? I told you it is plus 2y. Forget the old sign. You need to consider new sign. Minus 3y and plus 2y. That will give you minus y. Here minus 10 and minus 10. That is minus 20. So 2 negative will be positive. So y is equal to 20. That is my one solution. I cannot stop here. I need to get the value of x as well. So you can take any of the equation. Let me take this one. So x minus, what is the value of y? Which is 20. So 20, right? And what is on RHS side? Which is minus 10. So let me simplify. X minus 3 to the what? 60. Then minus 10. So I will be shifting this minus 60 over this side. So it will become positive. So x is equal to minus 10, and this minus 60 is what? Plus 60. So x is equal to minus 10 plus 60. So answer is 50. So my solution for x is 50. So I have calculated the two unknowns. What? X and y. So my value, what I assumed as x, which is present age of Nuri. So Nuri's present age is what? 50 years. And what is y? Present age of Sonu. So present age of Sonu is y, 20 years, and present age of Nuri, which is 50 years. Let's recall this step one more time, right? As always, the three steps are always going to remain same for any kind of word problem. First of all, identify the unknowns. What do we want to find? We want to find the present age of Nuri and present age of Sonu. Afterwards, we followed the condition. As it is related to age, you have given the case of age after, age about future or about past. So we have done that. Age about one relation about past and one relation about future. So I've drawn a line diagram so you can clearly understand what was past situation, what is present situation, and what will be future situation. So afterwards, follow the condition, make two equation. You have 4 methods to choose from to solve those equations and get your answer. So this is how we solve word problems related to age.